Hi, I'm back doing a collective reading, energy reading. If you're new here, I read intuitively. My readings are not gender nor sexuality specific. I read the energies of masculine and feminine. And if I need to get into specifics of sexuality or anything, I definitely will, though. So, channel message. My cousin had posted something, a story, and I listened to it. And it was, I don't know if this man is like a pastor or a bishop, but it is Sarah Jakes Roberts, her husband, right? His last name is Roberts, of course, but I don't know his title, if he a pastor or a bishop. But she posted him talking about, you know, basically paying attention to the actions versus the words, like, because he referred to Bishop T.D. Jakes, like, you know, he was saying, I'm going to listen at you, meaning I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to watch you too, you know. Because it's like, listen, I ain't over explaining it, right? But he says, I'm going to listen at you, referring to Bishop T.D. Jakes. But he goes into, like, you know, it was avoiding being manipulated. Now, I don't know if that was the title of this snippet of the video. That was just on my cousin post. She could have got it from somewhere else, right? But he was talking about if you pay attention to, well, he pays attention to what you're showing him, the actions versus the words. Pay attention to both, but what you believe and respond to is how I took it, is what they're showing you in the physical. And that makes sense, right? Because we're in the physical world, like tangible, 3D, third dimension, right? Some of us can connect to other places and times, but we ain't getting into that right now. We talking about this 3D and manipulation, because it's a lot of it out here, right? But he was basically saying, like, you know, when your words and your physical, how you move, how you act, how you work, how you love, how you father, how you mother, how you wife, how you husband, if that is different, if you show me different than your words, he feels like there's a dissonance. And you know, it's this disharmony between what you're saying and what you're doing. And you know, most people with this day and age, well, I don't know, I feel like it's always been this day and age with this reference of like protesting and rights and things. I feel like that's been ongoing in ways, some louder than others. But most know cognitive dissonance in terms of beliefs and mental. And so I had Googled it, and some of the examples that it gave, it was just like, some of that sounded like judgment a little bit, but it goes into what I got from when I was listening to Sarah Jakes Roberts' husband. When he was talking, I agree with him, but I also felt like it's perception. You know, what is disharmony to you? What is, you said this and you showed me this to you? A lot of people like, oh, okay, practical, you said you was going to give me some money and you didn't, for example. And then what's didn't to you? Because somebody may have given you $20, that's some money. They may have given you 10, they may have given you 5, they may have given you $2. It all comes down to the details, the perception, things like that. Sometimes the expectation, because if we using this example of, and like I said, they're saying like your actions don't line up with your words. The example we're using is, you said that you would give them some money and you didn't. But say for instance you did. You gave them $50. They may say, well, I was expecting such and such. So when it comes to dissonance, it's all based on perception, your trauma, how you perceive and receive, right? Because technically, if you gave them $50, you did give them some money. But maybe their expectations or their thought was a couple hundred, 300, a few thousand. Like, I'm showing you who I am. Like, if they showing up Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Chanel, you know, and it's authentic, You know, if that's how they do them and you say you're going to give them some money, they going to want it to match that vibration, right? But then sometimes the details need to be ironed out, you know. So some people could be being accused of what you're saying and what you're doing is two different things, the dissonance. But if the person on the receiving end of the money, per our example, didn't say, okay, yes, I need some money, they offer some money, however it went, but if it's not in detail, like, hey, if you're going to help me, I appreciate it. I could really use such and such. You know what I mean? If you ain't said it. But it's all perception when it comes to dissonance, right? The lack of harmony, a tension or a clash resulting from the combination of two disharmonious or unsuitable elements, right? Sometimes that's people in the relationships, you know, because there can be dissonance amongst few, amongst many, amongst a couple. It could be dissonance at you within yourself, right? But it all is the perception. You saying this person didn't give me no money, $50, it ain't no money. What is no money to you? I was just watching this show, Home Economics, and he said something about, oh, she makes the real money, and he was rich, like millionaire. So his sister was like, I would love to know what real money is to you. Like, everybody's God ain't the same God. Everybody's money ain't the same money. Everybody's abundance is not the same abundance, right? So when we say dissonance, like in terms of the conflict, disharmonious, or in the tangible, your actions and your words ain't lining up, whoever is viewing you, right? The receiving end of the, you know, the example, $50, right? Whoever is viewing you, are they in line? Because they watching to make sure your words and your actions are level, right? But are they level? Because if they're at this level and you're at this level, technically they can't see you. They looking up and their neck might hurt. You know what I mean? They may be tired of looking up. Because naturally, the way the human body, depending on your human body, right? Average, you looking straight ahead is more comfortable, more balanced, right? They're looking up. And then some of y'all may be viewing it different because you looking down. Again, the balance is straight up, straightforward, in alignment with your body. We talking about ergonomics, right? Or rather, can you understand? Ergonomics. I'll make sure. Ergonomic, right? Relating to or designed for efficiency and comfort. This says in a working environment, but in simple terms, it's the study of people in their working environment. But I'm talking about in the body, right? Designed for efficiency. So your body is designed a certain way. Looking up constantly and looking down constantly, trying to see a motherfucker while you saying they actions ain't lining up and there's some disharmonious movement in their, I want to say persona, but that's some people that's faking. They ain't studied their character, right? But, you know, it's some dissonance in their character. And when I say their character in this sense versus a few beats ago, I mean who they are authentically, right? Who they're saying they are versus how they're showing you they are. And then the other with the persona, some people are studying a character trying to take on. Okay, well, they like herbs, flowers, gemstones, so I'm gonna act like I like it too. You decide maybe you don't want to be Erykah Badu, but you cool with Andre 3000. Like, I mean, the fact that we talking about you studying the character and you're not an actor is an issue on that side. But for the other side, it's just inauthenticity within the person that you are. And that's denoting character too, but I don't want to label this character, because this dissonance, you know, this conflict, this somebody up here, somebody down here, is things are still being developed. You know what I mean? So and we have to find a different word for it, because, excuse me, character is like stationary. You know, I'm feeling in this sense that I'm talking, but who I'm talking to, right? Or who understands who this message is for, whatever, there is layers to you. So we can't say, oh, well, I don't want to get too deep in it, but we can't just label you as such as us, because you're multi-layered. Yes, some labels we adhere to and we label ourselves, but for the context of this video, I'm talking about everybody, right? Because this dissonance, this moving out of character, this what you're saying and what you're doing is two different things. It's disharmonious, and for some it's throwing off their spirit, right? But that was the message. But like I said, I agree with Bishop or Pastor Roberts. I'm not sure what his title is, I'm sorry. But I did feel like there was some differences in there, and to spot the one-offs, okay, yes, that makes sense, right? What he's saying, if you're showing me this and we're in a 3D world, I gotta pay attention to what you're showing me. But like, are you seeing it right? Are your trauma blinders off? Have you been working on your trauma? Like, you know what I mean? Because if you used to fucking with low vibrations and now you in a high vibrational space, you may not be seeing things as they are until you level up. Excuse me. Until you level up to that high vibration. And the levels is different. This could be high for some. This could be high for some. And they say like, hey, take it how it resonates. This is eyes on your own paper type shit. But anyway, messages. This message of dissonance that the collective needs to hear, this channeled message. We have commune with nature. We have this 3, the seed here. Commune with nature. You need to go outside. You need to ground. You need to meditate. And just be in the energies. I mean, being out in the energies and the elements outside, grounding, can be very cleansing for the spirit. The energy and the aura, especially if you don't get energy work regularly, or you don't know how to purify your own energy regularly. Some people do it with baths, some people do it with intention, some people do it with herbs and salts and scrubs, right? But even if you're doing that, but especially if you're not doing that, you need to go outside, commune with nature. You see that third eye up there? I feel like being outside in nature brings clarity. It brings clarity of the mind, body, and spirit. It helps you see the patterns of what you're saying and what you're doing. You know, it brings more awareness, more insight, and clarity to the disharmonious actions and words, person and person, behavior, the cognitive dissonance, the dissonance in itself. Because the dissonance could be emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. You know, in terms of you saying you love me, but the way you emote and your feelings, the only emotion I know you have for me is hate. Because when you mad at me, you say the most hurtful things. Like, I could be crumpled in the floor, or you could see me breaking down and you still hurling it at me, hitting me with your words and these emotions, right? So, but then you saying you love me. And it's just like, that's not love. That don't feel good. You see that. You know that I told you that. Because sometimes while they hurling it at you, they the ones that got to pick you up off the floor, right? And soothe you back, you know, to hopefully better than where you was, right? But some of that is a trauma response, trauma bond, you know, but it's still the dissonance. They're saying they love you, but they showing you that they don't. They don't even like you, for that example, right? Clarify this. Thank you. Adaption. Commune with nature. There have been some changes, establishing a new normal. There have been some changes, right? Intuitively, right? I feel like there's some ascension, there's some settling, there's some downloading. There's a lot of things happening in this third eye, and mind, body, and spirit, for those who have been doing the work, or for those that are just going to be thrust into the work, right? This adaptation is Blackberry. This is seeing clearly, right, to the change in ways. Part of the theme this week, I've had to tell people, like, you know, releasing and let go of people, that's normal. As you grow, as you excel, sometimes as you ascend and sometimes you descend, there's things that change. There's relationships that end, right? But it's all a part of you evolving. And some people are evolving, some people are devolving, right? Or can you understand? But hold on. Adapting to and making a routine of going outside or grounding your energy needs to become a part of the everyday routine, so you can stay in a harmonious and balanced state, so you can stay in alignment, so you can see it for what it is. If you are constantly putting out fires, right? And it don't have to be like a literal fire. Hopefully it's not, trigger warning. But if you're constantly quelling emotions, mending relationships, getting us back on track, fighting for us, you know, 1 minute there's peace, next hour there's chaos, peace again for 5 minutes, 30 minutes later it's 3 hours of chaos. That ups and downs, that topsy-turvy, that disharmonious, that dissonance, right? Some of it is disingenuous. Like, I know somebody that throw that word around, or at least when I was in their life like that, they threw that word around a lot, and it was just like, you are comfortable with that word. And this thing, it's just like you can see that so clearly in people because you're disingenuous. It was later revealed, right? But it's really disharmonious, right? Not being in nature keeps you kind of stuck and stagnant. You know, with this adaptation, you need to adapt to being outside and grounded regularly. Some of y'all need earthing your energy. You need to call on those elements, meditate, and be more grounded. You can do some grounding meditations, or you can what is it, you can work out, do some type of physical movement, helps with grounding. But yeah, this dissonance though, you can see the patterns once you get grounded and get used to getting grounded. Also with this adaptation here, there's an ascension happening. So you may be able to see things in a way you've not been able to see them before, and you're a little bit confused about that. Some of y'all need to be grounding just to gain more clarity on that as well. Like, One more time, one more time. What else? Because as far as your gifts, your shifts in consciousness and things of that nature, they can be a little bit scary when you're just being awakened, right? But if you've been seeking within answers, clarity, clear up the confusion, get clear. As long as the head and the body, the mind, the body and the spirit are aligned, you're going to get the answers. You're going to get the clarity, you know. You're going to get in harmony. But some of y'all, the spirit is unclean. There's like parasites in the spirit, the energy. Some of it is inherited, and some of it, you picked it up off of somebody else. Alright, so we have Face the Music in Eye to Eye. 28 equating a 1. 32 equating a 5. So, face the music. This is giving the truth. Truth hurts. There's something being found out or revealed in the physical, right? In your 3D life. Something possibly to do with a partner, whether in love, business, friendship, partner in crime. Some people are like, oh, that's my partner in crime. Okay. Something is being brought to the forefront. You can't avoid this. You can't change the narrative. It's just, it's being exposed. Exposure, right? When you see those horns here, I forgot, this is not xylophone, megaphone, something, but this is a trumpet here. And then this one was the one that's giving me like they play records. I forgot what they call it, right? This one here. But anyway, it's a broadcasting. Of some type of behavior, some type of disharmonious behavior that's happening in the physical. What is this in 3D? It's happening in 3D. It's happening in your life now, or it's around you. One more time. Some of y'all trigger one, and it may be revealed that there is some type of abuse, manipulation, taking advantage of, child abuse. And maybe what's revealed. Alright, so we have soothe. There's some nurturing that's going to need to come in. Some healing. Some licking the wounds. The ego is going to be hurt. Yeah, the ego with this yellow is going to be kind of like smarting. Smarting is basically hurting. Like a stinging pain or whatever. That's like hurting. And it could be in the physical and the energy and the emotions that you're smarting, right? Due to something being broadcast, something being aired out, something being exposed, something being revealed. Every word or adjective that I'm using for this applies to each, and not every single one of you, but different people, right? Those who receive this message. And there's going to be some soothing, but this soothing with this chamomile. I mean, chamomile is some good stuff, right? It soothes the throat, all of that, right? But it also heals too, you know. Promotes tranquility, It helps with the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, where the ego resides, willpower, self-esteem, how you see yourself, right? It helps with that. Yeah, because somebody's ego is going to get set on fire. It's going to be on flame. And when I say the ego going to be on flame with the inflammation of the ego, something is going to happen where somebody gets real pompous, but and real kind of like performative, dramatic, but there are receipts. There are receipts here. That's all I'm saying. So you're going to need to soothe that. Because it's going to become inflamed due to those receipts with Face the Music. Last card we got I for, I'm sorry. I was going to say I for I. I for an I. This is I to I. Ooh. So with me about to say I for an I hope some people ain't trying to do get back. Like, oh, since you air my shit out, let me air yours. Again, there's that dissonance. Are you seeing it correctly? Because if you feel like people's supposed to keep your secrets, or it wasn't that bad, you ain't have to say it like this, and all that shit could have went away or not be existent if you didn't do it. So have some accountability instead of trying to retaliate, because you need to work on this inflammation that's occurring due to this exposure. Right? You need to work on the inflammation, child. Like I said, it was heart chakra, solar plexus, and throat. Alright, so I to I. What is this for the collective? This is seeing clearly. But I also see somebody like, I'm thinking like it's like making it rain, but it's really not. It's like they passing out, they cutting people off. Pink slips, pink slips, pink slips. Pink slips could be going to your mama, your daddy, the homie, the girlfriend, the baby daddy, you know, the cousin, Leon on such stuff. Like, I'm just seeing somebody, you know how they had the guns that make the money rain? This is the pink slips that's coming out here with this eye to eye. Somebody is seeing super clearly. Like, I see you here, there, everywhere. I see you in all aspects. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. There's somebody collective playing chess, not checkers. I feel like these are all individuals. Like, this, somebody could be resonating with all of these messages, right? But I also feel like you could just resonate with this one, with this ascension, getting clarity. You could just resonate with this one, you know, with this whole exposure, or you could just resonate with this one. I to I, pink slips. You've been cut off. Somebody is seeing clearly, right? Very clear. It's probably 4 sets of eyes on you, or they got 4 sets of eyes on you. You got 4 sets of eyes on them. And then we have eyes again over here. Clarity is coming in, right? There are a lot of things being revealed. We just had eclipse. I'm hearing like some things came to a climax, right? This is like it. Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. I'm also hearing in the theme, like what came in was the words to DMX, what these bitches want from a nigga. But then, where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. It's just lack of accountability, right? is what it's giving me. Those are the conflicting energies. Somebody want to know what they want, right? What they want. And it's like, you know what you've been doing. You know, it's been said to you. It's been shown to you. Like, you're not the victim anymore. When are you going to be responsible for yourself? You want to keep shitting on people and think they supposed to deal with you. You want to keep bringing this chaos. 2 minutes of peace, 5 hours of chaos. Get the fuck up out of here. The pink slips are rampant. I'm just seeing the money gun. Pink slip, pink slip, pink slip. You've got mail. That is funny. I'm about to clarify this in a minute, right? This all started due to the dissonance, the disharmony. The disharmony. Oh, yes. Yeah, the disharmony. Pink slips, pink slips. Somebody could be sitting in their office doing this, giving people their last check, their last handout, their last, I'm going to carry you this far, their last, like, I'm not doing, because it's like, yeah, I'm going to take care of you, but we all got to put in on the pot. Purify, like I said, purification. You know, the elements. I started this video off saying the elements can cleanse your spirit, right? When I said go outside and commune with nature. Go outside, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You know, you need to make this a ritual. You need to make this a regular part of your day. Going outside for a minute, getting clear on things. But I said earlier, it can purify, it can cleanse your spirit. Somebody is seeing very clearly. Pink slips are out. The pink slips are being out because that's a part of them clearing their energy, clearing their spirit. Some of the, like I said earlier, energetic parasites. Or they're parasites in your spirit and your aura. Purification is needed. Some people are seeing that now and they're realizing it's people, it's relationships, it's this lover, it's this husband, it's this wife, it's these kids. Me and somebody's like, they got to go. On that note, let me light me some, give me some purification with this sage up in here. I was hearing people say that sage is demonic, right? This person I know, she has said that somebody told her like sage brings the energy in your house, because I had gave them some sage for their birthday along with a book or something. And she's like, yeah, somebody told me sage brings it in. And it's just like, I mean, sage is a plant of the earth. It's okay, but anyway, what do you call it in? If it brought in shit for you, because when you do smudging with the intention to cleanse, right? The sage is a smudge, right? It's to cleanse what's already in there. And a lot of times you want to focus on the corner because stuff lies in the in-between, right? So say for instance there is some energy and now you done disturbed it with this sage, so it gets to moving around. So now maybe you feel it more than you did because it was rested over here undisturbed, and say this stack of magazines that you've had there for months. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Even if you do have like an abundance of things, if you're not cleansing the energy regularly, stuff will get in there and stay, right? But anyway, so that's what they said, like, oh, it's demonic, it brings in things. It's like, it's not going to bring in nothing that wasn't already there. Was you there? It was already there. So if she get to moving around and tripping, you know what I'm saying, you need to cleanse a bit more often. Matter of fact, you need to run it back. Let's go through the house or through the room again. But somebody giving out their last checks. I'm hearing last rites with some. I don't know what that's about. But Pink slips are coming. There's going to be some cutting off. Cutting ties. Smacking the hammer down like, nah, I can't fuck with you because woo woo. And, or some of it ain't even got no reason behind it. It's just, I just want to be by myself. I don't want to be bothered with nobody. I don't want to keep taking care of nobody. I don't want to keep giving to this. You know, I ain't talking about like kids that you created, but some people may feel like this about kids that they created, that they were duped into believing like they was on the pill or they was sterile and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, I get what they said, but your accountability, right? Because some of y'all facing the music with this inflamed ego, excuse me, even though they said I'm on birth control pills, my tube's tied, or you know, I had a vasectomy, you still should have wrapped it up for you. Like, okay, I get what they saying. And some of them already showed you what they say and what they do is different, and you believe them, even though they've been showing you what they say and what they do shouldn't be believed, right? But that's a dissonance within yourself, right? A conflict of harmony. Like, you're not paying attention. What you're seeing and what you're receiving and what you're responding to, it's all out of whack. It's all. What's that guy, John Witherspoon? He was like, "Get some hocus pocus in this shit." I was watching, what was it? Vampire in Brooklyn. But anyway, Eddie Murphy and Kadeem Hardison and Angela Bassett, and who else was in it? Alan Payne. Anyway, it's a funny movie, but he's like, he did some old hocus pocus shit, right? Or was that on Boomerang? No, that's when he was talking about you gotta whip it. You gotta whip it back. Don't be pussy whip. Whip that pussy. Anyway, right? Alright, so the purification is coming after the pink slips. Alright, so what we gonna do is close this out. It's dissonance. That's end well on a good note for the collective spirit. With this dissonance, you got mail. Pink slips. You get a pink slip. You get a pink slip. Some of y'all is giving Martin. They really like, get the fuck out. Again, I don't feel like it's personal, but it may feel like that. But it may be a rush for them to like, you know, let everybody get the fuck out. Like, I'm ready to go sleep. You know, when somebody ready to go sleep, I don't want all that talking. Just get up out my face. All right. Protector energy. Some people need a protector, like when they sleepy. You may not want to say it to a certain set of people, and they can see you sleepy, but they doing their thing. Like, oh, well, they ain't gonna tell me to get out. I'm cool. Somebody may need a protector, like, all right, it's time to go. They sleepy. Let's go. We leaving. You know, if you need that type of help, you have to ask for it. Especially if it ain't showing up just by like, well, I told him I need help. That's cards, right? You gotta ask for it, though. Some people, they concerned with themselves, so they're not thinking, and they may not want to hold space for you and do it for you if you ain't gonna make no changes to eventually in the future do it for yourself. But then what is eventually? Some want a quick fix and want somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it, like literally. But can't nobody care about your shit more than you care about your own shit. So I get asking for help, but you also need to be putting in the tools to the point where eventually you don't have to ask for help. You know what to do. Or this time when you ask for help, it's something different because you've improved, you've been grown and evolved in that aspect. You know, like guidance is a different thing. You know, sometimes help is in the form of guidance, and it can show up in different tangible ways, in different mediums. Because help And guidance could be money, could be investment, could be love, could be words of encouragement, advice, things of that nature. Could be a place to stay, could be a recommendation, right? Shows up in different mediums. Closing this out is, like I said, they cleaning house. They see clearly now. I can see clearly now. The rain and bullshit is gone, right? The tsunami is over with this purification. So now that's going to leave them space to what? Pull yourself together. 41 equates to a 5. Change. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Change is constant, but it's needed. What is this? Peace. This pulling yourself together, this getting to know you deeper, you know, and only operating in spaces and people that are in alignment with that is really going to bring you peace, clarity of the mind, the body, the spirit. And some of y'all going to even take off this persona, or you're going to be able to see behind other people's masks and their persona. Yeah. Alright, so one more card. This message. This message. Bring it on home, bring it on home. Make a wish. What do you want? 24 equating to a 7. Make a wish. What do you want? Some people want peace. Some people want clarity. Some people want insight. Some people want money. Some people want hope. Some people want love. Whatever it is, figure it the fuck out and get in harmony with yourself so you can have what it is that you want. All right. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and or comment. And if you would like to request a personal reading, that information will be listed below this video.